Hello there folks, welcome back. You're watching BSG Online 5, Benefiting Mind. We now have our next run, which is going to be Dungeon Hearts with Razorflamekun. Please take it away.
Hello everyone, this is Razorflamekun, and today I'm going to be doing the entire game, full game. The category is full game hard. It means I'm going to be playing on hard difficulty. And think of the difficulties easy being normal, normal being hard, and hard being very hard. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. In 3, 2, 1, go. So, you have 4 heroes on the left side. You have the red hero, which is the fighter. You have the mage, which is yellow. You have the debuffer, which is the green. And you have the healer, which is the blue. The object of the game is to match 3. To create hero strikers and deal damage to your opponent so that you can defeat your opponent as quickly as possible. The skull and crossbones are enemy attacks. You also, while you're doing that, you want to destroy all enemy attacks by using your hero strikers on the same line, like that. To get rid of them, fairly soon we'll actually get some enemy strikers that will actually take more than one hit, and we're also going to get introduced to another form of enemy attack. After every fight, you get this, which is what are called boosters. You match 3 like in the game, and every 3 you match, you raise that hero's level, which is found in the bottom left-hand side of this, or the bottom side of the screen. The numbers mean what level hero will unlock a skill at. I won't talk too much about the skills because I won't be using that many of them. There's some that I am going to use, and I'll explain them when I use them. But for the most part, we're not going to. I'm not going to be talking about them because they're not really that important in the run, because they're just not that useful. There's some that are very useful, and I'll explain those. But for the most part, the first few levels are gonna be nice and easy. Even in hard, they're nice and easy. The only change between the difficulties, main changes, is the fate stream speed. Fate stream being the 4 lines you see. Yeah. So. The more heroes you have in an actual combo, so the more of the different colors you have is the more damage you do, and the damage is indicated by the numbers over the opponents. The multiplier is where you dealt the damage, and it goes from like. It goes from 1.x all the way up to 12. We'll hopefully see some 12s later on, once I get settled down here. This is a port of a mobile game that came out on Steam, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago in 2014. Though I did not start speedrunning this until 2 years ago. One thing to note is anything that is not square you can move. So you're seeing me move enemy attacks, and that is a good thing because you want to delay the enemy attacks as much as possible in this game. But as for right now, there isn't that much more that I need to explain. So if there are any donations, you can go ahead and read them.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Yep, just like to remind everyone that you're watching BSG Online 5, Benefiting Mind. Please make sure you get your donations in. We've got 730 euros at the moment, so please, if you can get those donations in, that would be greatly appreciated. Remember, you can also put your donations towards some bid wars. We do have, coming up later on, the character choice for 3 Ninjas Kickback on the Kickback, easy difficulty, on the Genesis, and you've got currently $5 towards Colt, nothing towards Rocky, and €8.55, €8, sorry, 55 towards Tum Tum. So if you want to choose your character there, please feel free to get those stations in. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so the different heroes, or sorry, the different enemies you fight are picked from a list of 2 or 3, with some being only available in only have 1 enemy available, and each of those enemies has a couple variations on the enemies. Patterns that you fight, when you fight them, they have different variations in their attacks and everything. That happens every once in a while, where you just get a weird pattern that you've never seen before. That still happens to me, even though I've done quite a few runs of this. I still get odd patterns every once in a while. But this game does require a lot of focus, which is why the commentary is going to be sort of here and there. It's because I have to concentrate while I'm talking. Unfortunately, I'm the only runner of this game. And to be perfectly honest, there isn't really like a way to like technically this isn't really it is a speed run, but it's more like playing the game as fast as you can, more so than actually using like techniques and stuff like that. There is like one speedrun tech that you do use in the game, but other than that, there isn't much in the way of speed tech in this game. It's pretty much mostly, it's pretty much entirely glitchless run. Alright, so the number in the swords you see is the number of fights we have left. We're getting pretty deep into the run. There's a total of I think 25 fights, because the final boss is the last fight. But yeah, we're getting there pretty quickly. So every once in a while the game changes backgrounds to simulate you traveling. Already we're seeing new things that we're having to deal with, the first of which are hexagons. Hexagons have different effects that you have to deal with. That one, I don't know exactly what that one is, but there's a number of different hexes that you'll have to deal with when you're playing this game. The main difference between normal and hard is the speed of the fate stream, as well as the introduction of new things that you have to deal with. Whenever you see the opponents, the gray and black. Oh, one sec. Yeah, sorry about that. Whenever you see the... Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh well. That's... whenever you see the, like right now how it is, where, part of the... Like the gray and the skull and crossbones are cracked, that means that the opponent's almost dead. Alright. So we're gonna fight the first boss in a short period of time. First boss can be pretty easy or pretty scary. It depends on which one they throw at me. there's a choice of, I think, 3 different bosses that they can throw at me. The main thing I forgot to mention is we want to not miss any of the boosters at all, because the more boosters you get, the more damage you do. Another thing you might have noticed is that we're already getting armored enemy attacks. Those are the enemy attacks that are blue or purple, or blue and purple. Those are the ones that take more than 1 hit to defeat. Some of these enemies are actually very dangerous. You might notice that I sometimes take hits purposely. That is because sometimes it takes too much effort to actually get to avoid the damage, and that's kind of the plan. Is there are some characters because of some of the abilities that I have bought that are able to take a lot more damage. The fighter being the one that can take the most damage, because one of his abilities you can buy in the store reduces the amount of damage or increases his HP by, I think, 20%, and he already has a ridiculously large HP threshold, so he's the one that can take the most damage out of all of the characters because of that ability that you buy in the store. If you want to speedrun this game, you want to have every single ability in the store bought. The highest level of that skill bought, as that'll make runs of this really nice and easy. You still have to be able to keep up with the Fate stream. Not sure if I mentioned this, but if the enemy attacks get down to the circles on the left-hand side, that's when the enemy attacks go off and you take damage. But here's going to be the first boss. Let's see who it is. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Tim for this fight.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much indeed. Well, while we're doing that, as I say, let's remind everyone you are watching BSG Online 5, benefiting Mind. Worldwide, suicide ranks as the 3rd leading cause of death in youth between 15 and 19 years of age, and it is the 2nd leading cause of death of girls in this age group. Early recognition of mental health disorders is essential to reduce suicide rates, improve treatability, and reduce severity of severe illnesses, including depression, psychosis, eating and substance abuse disorders. Mind tries to help bring awareness by providing classes at school to inform youth on the topic, and through social media campaigns targeting youth to encourage them to be more open about mental health issues. Especially during the current situation over the past 18 months or so, mental health is more important than ever, so Mind do their bit towards helping that out, and you've raised €730 so far for an absolutely fantastic cause. So please, if you can, get those donations in. Thank you very much indeed. We're still going on the boss here, so I'll just keep going just now. Absolutely fascinating fight here. I hope everybody's enjoying the run as much as I am. Okay, well, we're finishing off that boss then. let's have another quick look at donation incentives. Remember, all your donations go towards mine. And we do have, I mentioned earlier, the 3 Ninjas Kickback character choice. We've also got Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Currently we have a name incentive, which is currently Lord Thaddeus Wombleroom III for $5. And then you have the Kill or Spare Vivek. Kill is at 5, Spare is at 0. So if we can get your euros in towards those, please get your donations in to an amazing cause. Hopefully, boss fight.
Yeah, it's almost done. I had to use 2 skills during this fight. First skill was the fighter skills. All of the fighter skills are timed attacks, so you just time it and it deals more damage if you time it correctly. The other skill you saw me use was the healer's healing ability, because I took a couple forced hits, which caused a lot of damage, so I wanted to heal it up so that I didn't die to this fight. Because dying in this game, you don't get a retry, you basically have to redo the entire run all over again. And that's the scary thing about this run, is that you literally have one shot, and if you screw it up, you start it over from the very beginning. This is the tankiest boss in the entire run, minus the final boss. But we're finally done with that fight. Bosses generally have a lot more HP than the regular fights. The regular fights tend to have a very small amount of HP. The bosses tend to have quite a bit more. And that specific boss has the most HP out of all of the bosses in the game, besides the final boss. Overall, I've missed 2 level ups, which is fine. It's not gonna be it's not too detrimental, but when we start missing more than that is when we can start to get into problems. So right here we have new enemy attacks. These are colored enemy attacks. These enemy attacks require you to defeat them using that color that is shown in the skull and crossbones. So the yellow has to be defeated by yellow attacks, green by green, and so on. We're also past the we're about past the halfway point of this run now, so there isn't that much more that we're gonna have to go through. The one other thing I should mention is when you we already have enemy attacks that are taking 3 hits to destroy. Those come in during the first boss in the hard run. In addition, we're also starting to get square enemy attacks. Anything square cannot be moved, so the idea is to focus on the square enemy attacks and get rid of them as quickly as possible, because you cannot delay them at all. The other skills you're pretty much gonna see me exclusively use the fighters skills, but you might see me use the healer's second ability, which is skull and crossbone. You see there, that is the resurrection ability. I don't need to talk about it now, but I will if any of my characters die, which should not happen in this run. But yeah, so far this run's been going pretty okay. I've had some coughing that I've had to deal with that hasn't been like great, but other than that, it's been a pretty smooth run. This is not a world record. I am the world record holder at a 45:11 in game time. Being the only runner, it pretty much means I'm the world record holder of this game. But the last 2 of the last 3 times I've run this in marathons, I've actually gotten a world record during the marathon. One other thing to mention is that every fight you do has its own fate stream speed, so you have to learn to deal with the different fate stream speeds that enemies can have. Some of them have faster fate stream speeds, and some of them have slower fate stream speeds. Now we have another new enemy attack, which is, it's really difficult to explain, but they're enemy attacks that are in-hero chargers. So to get rid of them, you simply just make a hero striker out of the hero charger, and that's all you have to do for it to get rid of it. One other thing I should mention is when you match 3 hero strikers of the same color, you get a super striker, which clears the entire screen, and those are very helpful, especially later on when you might get into a bit of difficulty, because they clear the entire screen. Skill usage also clears the entire screen. So those are 2 ways to deal with those enemy strikers that you are not able to deal with quickly enough. Furthermore, whenever you okay, I forgot what I was going to say, but it's fine. It's early for me. It's like 10. So I'm more than likely going to forget what I'm going to say. We're getting close to the second boss. Second boss is going to be in a couple. I think it should be around the 9 fight left mark, if I remember right. 9, 8, somewhere around there. Oh yeah, whenever you see the fate stream completely stop, that's because I use so like here, yellow, and the yellow is there as well. That's what's causing that. Please. You might notice that I'm having to click some things multiple times. That's because this game is port of a mobile game, and because of that, it's really the controls are very finicky, and some would say not really well done. So yeah. Also, this is one of the normal enemies that's actually fairly difficult normally, but if you know what you're doing, you can actually defeat this enemy fairly quickly, especially when it gets into this part of the fight. Alright, I'm going to use the healing again, because your most important character is the healer. You do not want the healer to die, because if the healer dies, you have to go through the entire fight that you're on without being able to use the healer's ability at all, any of the ability to resurrect the healer, and that's really bad. Or resurrect anyone else, I should say. Yeah, we're still quite a ways away from the second boss still. But pretty much everything's been explained so far, so if you want to do donations, go ahead.
Okay, no problem at all. Remember that all your donations are going towards benefiting Mind. You're watching BSG Online 5, and I would also like to give you some more information about us. We are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organise bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners, and due to the situation surrounding COVID-19, we're currently doing our event online for the time being. And this event features streamers from both the Benelux and the rest of the world, bringing you entertainment during the lockdown. We are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organisation committed to preventing mental health issues and to supporting everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their family. All of the donations do go towards Mind, and we'd also like to thank ESA for supporting the event and for allowing us to stream on their channel. For information about their upcoming events and any changes due to the COVID-19 outbreak, be sure to check out their website at esamarathon.com. Thank you very much.
This is actually a fairly difficult fight, so if you want to continue doing donation things, go ahead.
Okay, will do. So just to let you know then, we're obviously working our way through the schedule. We've got a couple more runs coming up later on today. We've got Castlevania Bloodlines coming up after this, and then Shadow of the Colossus after that. But remember, if you do wish to donate, then you do have some fantastic donation incentives and bid wars that we can put your money towards. So I'd like to go through some of those again for you. We do have, as I mentioned earlier, 3 Ninjas Kickback, character choice, Colt, Rocky and Tum Tum. We have €0 on Rocky, €5 on Colt, and 8.55 on Tum Tum. So if you want to see your particular ninja choice, please get that in for later on. Looking forward to that one, by the way. That film is one of my childhood reminiscences. And then you've also got Elder Scrolls 3, which are your Morrowind. And you've got 2 choices here. You've got the character name. Currently, we have $5 on Lord Thaddeus Womblebury III. So if you want to put your own choice in for that, then please feel free. So 31 character max on that, so you can be quite creative with that one. And then we've got Vivek's Fate, Kill or Spare. Currently, we are killing Vivek on €5, but it won't take much to spare them. So if you want to be on the side of the spare, get your donations in. And I will mention one more just now. We do have coming up later on as well, Muramasa the Demon Blade, and you have the choice of difficulty. We can go for the normal difficulty, which currently has €0, or we can go for the Fury, which is the 1 hit point difficulty choice on €8.50 at the moment. I know what I would go for. I'd go for a bit of Fury, but get your donations in and you can influence the result of these runs. Okay. How are we getting on, Razorflame?
We're doing good. We're 1 or 2 fights away from the next boss, and the next boss can actually be either really easy or really hard. It just depends on which one I get. Like the first boss, it's just like the first boss, where it could be either really hard or really easy. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I'll let that attack go off. One thing is the letting of attacks going off can actually be strategically done, especially if you have it going towards a character that has a lot of health. The mage, even though it's a mage, tends to have quite a bit of health as well. Not as much as the fighter, but still a pretty decent amount, and is able to deal with a pretty decently large amount of damage. There, I just decided to use the fighter's third ability, which is timed attacks, to just defeat the rest of that enemy as quickly as possible, because I was in a bit of a jam there. But yeah. Second boss should be coming up either this fight or the next fight, and depending upon who it is, it might be time for more donations. It'll be 1 more fight. So yeah, so the main thing that I'm looking for doing is getting as many different colors into the attack as possible, because the more heroes you have in an attack, the more damage you do. So trying to get all 4 of them is really, really good. That wasn't good. I had a supercharger lined up and was going to click on it, but the enemy was able to get an attack off before I was able to get that actually going. Okay, I'm going to use this skill. This skill is not very good for reasons that may be apparent, because it slows everything down. But yeah, if you're in a pickle like I was, using that is really good, because it just lets you get out of something quandary you were in. Yeah, looks like he also got a shield up. One of the hexes that the enemies can use are shields hexes, which just creates a little bit of a shield, so you have to destroy the shield before your damage goes through. Generic RPG stuff. Remember, anything square cannot be moved, so you're seeing a lot of square things that I'm not able to move because that's just how hard is. Hard tends to overuse that quite a bit. It's still not dead though. Let's see, it shouldn't be too... actually, it could be a bit more damage, because he's still not cracked. Now he is, so it's not too much damage left to go. And then just remember that the specific color enemy strikers can only be destroyed by that color. But this should be the second boss. Depending on who it is, I might go ahead and let Tim do more donations, but we'll go ahead and see who it is. If it's the wizard, it's a joke of a fight. Is it going to be the wizard? Let's see. No, it's not. Go ahead and do donations.
Okay, no problem at all. Looking forward to seeing this boss here. Okay, so remember folks, all these donations do go towards benefiting Mind. Please get those donations in if you possibly can. So while we're doing that, I would like you to consider that you can possibly use, if you've got Amazon Prime, you can use your free monthly Prime gaming subscription right here on the ESA channel. And that will give you access to all of the ESA emotes, as well as several BSG emotes, and you get to support both of the events. As I'm sure you can appreciate, being online has been particularly challenging for organisations such as ESA, BSG, etc. And every little bit you can contribute in terms of your subscriptions or whatever really does help keep us going and allows us to keep putting on these events for charity. If you'd like to participate in an event which is similar to BSG, we highly recommend checking out UKSG. And UKSG is an event normally held in Glasgow, Scotland, running 4 times a year supporting Crisis. Currently, they're also doing their events online for the time being, and I'm going to give a little plug here. The next UKSG event will be next weekend on this very channel. So please, if you've enjoyed what you've seen this weekend, BSG, it's been absolutely fantastic so far. I've really enjoyed it myself. Please come back next weekend. We have something very similar. We have UKSG, our own particular British brand of speedrunning action. So please, if you've got the time and are able, obviously, to donate as well, we support Crisis. Please come along next weekend as well. And finally, we'd also like to remind you that aside from the BSG events and their own marathons, ESA hosts many other events across Europe, including BSG, just mentioned, Hackathon and more. So be sure that you've dropped the channel a follow to see when something is live. The next big ESA event is coming up in July, ESA Summer Online, so please stay tuned for that as well. Looking forward. I'll be hosting for that particular event as well. So I hope everybody will join us. That will be a week-long event, by the way. So yeah, if you like speedrunning, we've got you covered. How are we getting on with the boss, Razorflame?
Just finished.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You,
Good. That was a good. That was a very good boss fight. That boss is one that I don't see very often, so I was glad that I was able to still deal with it. Yeah, that boss is just one that you don't see very often. Almost all of the heroes are also almost level 50, which is the level that is required in order for the entire your entire crew of heroes to have all of their skills available. If you ever see me fiddling around with movement of things, you have to remember this is a mobile port, or a port of a mobile game for PC, so there's a lot of artifacts left over from that. I do not like this. Okay, that's fine. I believe that's the lifesteal hex. Deals damage to you and gives health back to the enemy. That's pretty much all it does in a nutshell. Thankfully, though, we have not seen too many of the really bad hexes. There's several really bad hexes that we haven't seen this run, which is kind of surprising. We are going to be coming up to the final boss fairly soon. Final boss I'm going to go over that final boss before the fight, because it's tradition that during that fight I am silent during that fight. So I'll be sure to explain everything about that fight before we actually get to it. That's weird. That's actually really weird. Okay, I'm gonna use this because yeah, that wasn't a good. That really just this bunny was just really dealing the hurt to me. That's what I consider this to be as a bunny, by the way. Kind of looks like a bunny, anyways. Okay, yeah. So you're seeing some of the only speed tech in the entire game, which is pretty much you use the fighter's abilities to pretty much get rid of encounters that would otherwise be extremely dangerous or would take too long. And that's pretty much the only speed tech in the entire game. We are 7 fights from the end. And we might start encountering some of the more dangerous abilities that the enemy has fairly soon. Didn't get there in time, that's fine. Like I said before, the fighter can really take a lot of damage. So one thing to mention is the way I can tell what is super armored, which means it takes 3 hits, and what is regular armored, which takes 2 hits, is how dark it is. If it's both blue, if it's blue, black, and purple, then I know for a fact it is super armored. This fight, for example, has super armored enemy attacks. So both the enemy attacks and the hexes can be super armored. This fight also has a lot of square attacks, which is not good. They take quite a bit more. Sorry. They just take quite a bit more resources to deal with, because you want to deal with them as quickly as possible. Like I said, because they can't be delayed. Anything that can't be delayed can become very dangerous very quickly. The good thing is I've only missed two or three levels this entire run, which is really good. My world record misses 1 or 2 levels as well, so it's not that big of a deal to miss 1 or 2. If you miss more than 1 or 2, that's when you start missing damage thresholds, which can become extremely dangerous. The other thing I forgot to mention is these fights are all timed in a way. They're not timed in the way that you normally think of fights. They're basically they have a kill screen where if you take too long, you will reach that kill screen, and that literally means you will die because they just send so many enemy attacks at you that you cannot deal with them all. Even if you have full skills, all your skills available. They just throw so much at you that, and constantly, they do it constantly, so it's essentially a kill screen. The kill screen time, though, you'll never see me reach it because it's it takes like 5 or 6 minutes to reach it. But that is something that if you're running this game, you have to be cognizant of. So we're down to 4, 5, I think 5 fights left. Yeah, 5 fights left, and some of the remaining fights are going to be pretty dangerous. This one, I don't know this one too well. I don't get this fight that often, but I figure it's going to be like the boss that we had earlier. Get stuff. Yeah, he's throwing a lot of stuff at me, so I'm going to use the this. Come on. Okay, yeah, I just used that archer skill just to get rid of the board. Whenever you use a skill, the entire board disappears, and that's pretty much what you want to. If you're in trouble, use the skill to help you get out of any issues that you have. Okay, I got a square here I got to deal with. Usually I try to hold on to my attacks for longer than that, but sometimes it's just not possible. I did forget to mention, but the gray chargers you're seeing are for enemies. If an enemy attack goes through and there are gray chargers with it, it'll deal more damage than if it didn't have that with it. It's pretty much the same as your attacks getting multiplied. They get additional multipliers based on the number of enemy chargers that are on the same line as the attack. So you could, even the fighter could get, on a bad day, could get one shot if too many enemy chargers are on the line, are on the fighter's line. But it's very unlikely for that to happen. From now on, I am really hoping to not have to deal with... I'm just hoping I don't have to deal with the usage of any more skills. I want to try and save my skills for the last fight now. And I want to try and save the fighter skill for one of the fights upcoming that actually isn't the final boss. Because it's a fight that takes a long time, so I want to get the hero, the fighter, in there so that he can do some damage right off the bat without having to go through too much of the fight. Yeah, but now you're starting to see this And this entire this difficulty starts throwing everything at you now. The what? I thought I got rid of that. Oh, it must have been armored still. But that's odd. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Oh, that's never happened before. But I'm pretty sure it was just that it had another. I just got rid of one layer of armor and that's it. Okay, gonna have to heal again. Yeah, I should start explaining the final boss right about now. So the final boss is called the Dark One. The Dark One is the only enemy that is able to completely manipulate the fate stream. He can make it go very fast or very slow or even stop. Completely stop. It's also a very difficult boss. He has his own hex that you have to deal with. That always takes 3 hits to destroy. It's called Nether Breath. It applies the effects of 3 random hexes to your entire party if you allow it to hit you. In addition, it also he also sends a lot of attacks at you, and he has some phases where he sends a lot of a kill screen amount of attacks at you, and you have to either use a supercharger, super striker, or you pretty much that's pretty much all you have to deal. I'm also going to use this as well. This just lowers the amount of damage he does, but yeah. In addition to that, the final boss has a lot of HP, and there's out of everyone in the entire world, there's only 2.3% of the people that have played this game have actually beaten the final boss on hard. I've beaten the final boss plenty of times though, and I actually really enjoy the final boss quite a lot. One other thing I want to mention is the composer of this game is called Sam English. He composed all of the music for the entire game, and in my opinion, he did a really good job on the soundtrack, and I'm gonna let you hear the final boss theme pretty much without interruption, because that's gonna be the one fight where there's gonna be no talking. But it's also part of the tradition of my runs of this game that I just let you hear the final boss music without anybody talking over it or anything. But it is, but mainly because it is that epic. Okay, this guy should be almost dead now. Yeah. After this, we have one more fight, and then the final boss, I believe. I believe it's just 2 fights left after this. So I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead, Tim, and do donations for the last time.
Okay, no bother at all. Remember that you are watching BSG Online 5, benefiting Mind. We've raised €730 so far. Please get your donations in if you can. Contribute to a fantastic cause. And yeah, we're getting ready for this final boss now. I'm looking forward, so I'm going to be quiet for this one. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we still got one more fight.
Okay, cool, good stuff. Well, with that then, let's just have a little look, see what we've got here. Did you know that BSG supports small community events as well? You can see events like the Harvest Moon Marathon and the Colin McRae-a-thon happening live on our own Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/BSG_marathon. So if you're at all interested in slightly smaller events, the McRae-a-thon is obviously a driving game event that was on earlier on this year. I actually participated in that myself, and it was absolutely brilliant fun. Got the Harvest Moon Marathon as well. Please be sure to check out the BSG channel and follow there as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this fight's a pretty anticlimactic fight. It's really, really easy. But then we'll get into the actual hard fight. This, the final boss is very difficult. Like I said before, only 2.3% of the world have speeding this boss on hard. And we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So, hope you enjoy the music, and I'll see you on the other side. I'll let you know when time is too. Whew. And that is the final boss. So we don't use real time for the game. We actually use in-game time. So the time when time stops is a little bit odd, but I'll let you know when that is. It's going to be coming up very shortly. You did see me use a couple skills in that fight. You saw me use the Mage's second skill, which basically turns other hero charges into yellow. So I used that in a critical juncture to get a supercharger. And time. So 54:41 is an okay time. I was expecting around 50 minutes, so a bit slower than normal, but still, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're interested in running this, you can buy it on Steam for like $5 or $3 or $5. And I've got 50 hours out of this game, 60 actually closing on 60. But you can also contact me on Discord, Razorflame #0016. If you're interested, I'm more than willing to share some tips and tricks. And I believe you said Castlevania game is up next, right, Tim?
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much indeed, Razorflame. That was a fantastic run. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed that. So, yeah, thank you again for the run. Anything else? Is that you?
No. Thanks again for having me, and hope to see you guys in another BSG event soon.
Yep, thank you so much indeed for running. It's very, very cool. Really enjoyed that. Okay, so we're going to be back very shortly. We're going to take a quick intermission, and we will be back with some Castlevania Bloodlines by Manix86. So stay with us. Thank you very much.